problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But he
that
down.
dude hits hard.
Robert. Oh, sorry, when you done.
Yeah, so them ones with the A, Robert. Okay.
Yeah.
We send it.
Transfer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat.
Rogan has never been one to hold back his opinions, and his latest reaction to Anthony Joshua training alongside Oleksandr Usyk's camp ahead of the Jake Paul fight has sent shockwaves through the combat sports world. On his podcast, Rogan broke down the bizarre yet fascinating dynamics of the situation, questioning why two of boxing's most elite heavyweight figures would be involved in preparation for a spectacle-driven bout centered around Jake Paul. Blending skepticism, admiration, and his trademark blunt analysis. Fans are buzzing about what this unusual training alliance could mean not just for Jake Paul, but for the wider boxing landscape as well.
Chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry.
Than preparing in the UK with his regular team under trainer Ben Davison, Joshua confirmed at a recent press conference that he would be training with members of Usyk's, set up as part of his preparation for the December 19th fight in Miami. He described the collaboration as phenomenal and demanding, praising the quality and success of Usyk's team while clarifying that the Ukrainian champion himself was not sparring with him on a daily basis.
Find the belief in yourself, not in somebody else's system. You know what I mean? It's like Usyk's team might show him bits and bats of stuff. He doesn't box like Usyk. Can they train AJ to be similar to what Usyk's doing? AJ, you've got to pick out the best of what AJ does, and you've got to pick out the worst and improve the worst in him. And I'll say it time and time again. For me, the best trainer he ever had was Robert McGregor. It might not be what people want to hear, but he had him from the stages in the amateurs, from being a young mind, brought him through, guided. He had a good view of what the competition was out there, where to put him, you know, where to maneuver him, when to take fights, when not to take fights. And he'd invested a lot of time in him, Robert McGregor. So it was the payoff. Now when you go to, you know, if AJ came here or he goes to Ben Davison, or you're going to be in for a big payday as a trainer, it's a lot of responsibility to take on. You know, Ben Davis is a good trainer. He's trained AJ for so many fights, brought him back. He'll have got paid handsomely. Everybody wants to train AJ because it's a good payday. So, but sometimes you have to think to yourself, are you capable of training that fighter? You know, people have come to me wanting me to train. I said, to be honest, we're not going to match. You know, what I want to do and what I want you to do is not going to work. So I just think AJ is looking for that secret ingredient.
Training with seasoned members of Usyk's camp, Anthony Joshua is refining a wide range of offensive and defensive skills. Observers have noted that he remains relentlessly focused on improvement, whether it's improving his footwork, sharpening his timing, or tightening his combinations. His training approach is deliberate yet adaptable, allowing him to test techniques within a structured environment. The camp also provides sparring partners who replicate realistic fight scenarios, keeping Joshua sharp and mentally engaged. With fight night approaching, each session carries added weight, strengthening both his physical conditioning and his mindset. His routine reflects a clear understanding that meticulous preparation and tactical evolution are essential at the elite level.
Simon, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Oleksandr Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, pause.
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and do a little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm traveling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously after the Usyk fight, he's come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition
Well, yeah,
job.
Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helenius, he had Otto Wallin, and he smashed McGregor, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where what you've just said then, Spencer, like match him right. I felt he was matched right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just fought
obviously I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to get an out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8 rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been.
But it's not about his
100%
physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Oleksandr Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by
Joshua hasn't been sparring Usyk regularly. He has fully immersed himself in the Ukrainian champion's training environment, working alongside elite coaches who helped Usyk become a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion. By learning from their high-level boxing system, Joshua has gained insight into what it takes to operate at the very top. He has said the experience offers valuable perspective from someone who has achieved so much, helping him sharpen his tools as he prepares for Paul.
To that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul.
AJ's been in camp with Usyk.
Taking it seriously for it to get fucked off at the final minute.
What better camp to go join
yeah.
than the master himself?
What he's doing is he knows that he's got, 1, maybe 2 years left, maybe 2 years. So he's gone to the Usyk camp. There's motivation behind that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not going to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul. But he's going to that camp for the future of next year, where he could be fighting Dubois, could be fighting
McGregor has also weighed in on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight with a blunt and cautionary take, warning that the matchup is extremely dangerous and, in his opinion, probably shouldn't happen at all. McGregor described Joshua as a heavy-handed fighter with serious power and depth, as a former world champion, stressing that anyone who makes that walk into the ring deserves respect. At the same time, he acknowledged the physical risks Paul would be facing, despite his concerns. McGregor said he would respect Paul if he genuinely commits to the challenge, even as he questions whether such a high-profile crossover fight makes sense from a sporting perspective.
I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect with that. It's very dangerous, It seems like Netflix are all over him. To get me, it's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. And Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. That's a heavy punching man, and he's you think he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. And I don't think a lot of people suss that. So the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead.
President Dana White offered an even harsher critique of the highly anticipated Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul bout, calling it a mismatch that undermines the integrity of professional boxing. Never one to shy away from controversy, White questioned the legitimacy of pairing a seasoned former heavyweight world champion with a YouTube star turned boxer. His comments sparked intense debate across social media, with fans split on whether the fight represents smart business or a blatant spectacle that cheapens the sport. White didn't hold back, suggesting that Joshua stepping into the ring with Paul makes little sense for boxing and could set a dangerous precedent where fame and clicks outweigh skill and experience. While acknowledging that celebrity bouts can generate massive pay-per-view numbers, he warned they risk turning boxing into a sideshow rather than a true test of athletic excellence.
Around him that will be saying to him, mate, Anthony hasn't boxed for a year and a half. Mate, Anthony got dropped in his last fight. Anthony's head's all over the place. He's gone. So listen, fair fucking play. If he steps up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go, fair fucking play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, When's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative, but it would be a dangerous one. If we're offered it, and the money that I know is inevitable in a fight like that, it would be very difficult for us to turn it down. And I know some people will find a reason to not like it and moan, but I'm just going to give it to you straight always. We were going to have a run out this year in an 8-rounder against someone in the top, I don't know, 120 on BoxRec that you've never heard of. We could have a run out against Jake Paul, end him in boxing forever, get rid of this whole little silly thing, and make about 50 or 60 in the process. How can you turn it down? So if it's real, there is a chance. Jake's won fights that I didn't think he'd win. And Jake has got a lot better over the last couple of years. He ain't in Anthony Joshua's league, that's for sure. The only way this fight happens, if it's a fight, it's a sanctioned fight. I mean, ultimately, it's a cruiserweight stepping up to fight a heavyweight. I mean, previously, what did you have? You had a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, but that was an exhibition. This is no exhibition. This is the 10-ounce big boys, and this is a real fight. We've already really got our plans with Turki Al-Sheikh for 2026, which is ultimately to fight Tyson Fury, but also to have another fight in February. We got the phone call to say, look, obviously Gervonta's out. Would you be interested in December? And the only other options we had for December was to do an 8-rounder on a card somewhere, which I didn't even know was going to happen. So I said to Nikisa, if you're truthful about this, which he assures me Jake is, then it could happen. So let's live in the real world, yeah? And let's just, everybody stay calm and make logical business decisions. What would you do, right? And please don't give me the, yes, but you have to think about the legacy here. You can't eat legacy, and legacy is so important. By the way, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. The legacy's okay. I wouldn't let him not take this fight. I would push him in the ring to take this fight. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Just relax. One, I don't even know if it's going to happen. Two, if it does, just relax. Enjoy us going in there for boxing and sticking one on his chin. We'll go back, we'll fight Tyson Fury, etc. So just relax. But how can you